Ukraine. Hello, Mike. We spent a great time in the Creation Museum with Mark. Mike, so I'm really thankful and appreciate him that he did it for us. So, some of you know me. I hope my English will be good for you. So if not, you have a lot of pictures. You will have a lot of pictures, so you will understand everything by the pictures what I have. And I recognize on the introduction what Jordan did it. I recognize that I know Jordan longer than many of you. It is right, yeah, yeah. So let me tell you a little bit about Ukraine. So my name is Stas. Longer name will be Stanislav. I love this better because it's love in my name. Stanislav. So let me tell you a little bit about Ukraine, and I guess many of you already know a lot about Ukraine. We had a good conversation in the morning with one of your elders who visited Ukraine in 90s, but I want to tell that Ukraine in 90s and now it's two different countries. We run for some changes and difference what happened in our country. So this is Ukraine, and this is meaning of our flag. If you saw our flag, yellow and blue, this is meaning of our flag. Yellow wheat on the blue and the blue sky. It's a free land. We're biggest agriculture country in the Europe. So this is my family. My wife Anne, she's probably here or outside of this door. My daughter Alice, my middle son George, and always with surprise eyes Harry. And unfortunately, because of this war, George has PTSD. When he hears sirens in the middle of the night, he always wake up in screaming and crying and in stress and pointing to the window. And it's how we always find him in the middle of the night in his room. Let me tell you a little bit about the Lviv Church. In 2015, we founded a congregation of the Church of Christ in Lviv. In the down picture, it's our team. It's me and my wife, my good friend Bogdan, his wife Alina, my brother Dima, and his wife Alona. And here you can see, there you can see a first meetings. It was like home church. It started from home church. Our idea was to add people to this group of people, to these families. But look on these faces. It's a baby faces. We were like 22 years old in that pictures about that. So I want to encourage eldership, leadership, and to encourage, inspire youth people, young people to do a lot of work for God. I want to encourage all of you to encourage young people to do something for God, because in the Bible we can see a lot when young people change the world for God. And I understand, even I right now do not trust myself in this age. So, but still, we need to do that. And I want to encourage young people. You can do a lot of things for God. You can do a lot of things for God, big things. Don't think you cannot do something. You can. Let me tell you a little bit. So that picture was taken a few weeks before full invasion war. It was in February, beginning of February. We had some classes, Bible classes, and that picture was taken 1.5 months after. This is same. I mean, this is me on the both of pictures. I was drafted to the military in April 2022, and I retired from army in end of this spring. So I was 2 years in army, and that was the probably hardest time for my life and hardest time for my family. I will let you more on the next pictures, because I understand this. We need to finish like 15 minutes. No, 15 minutes. I have a bad English, so Jordan told me 50 minutes, right? So when the full invasion war started, we believed that it was a God providence that we established a church, a congregation in Lviv, because it's a western part of Ukraine, and Lviv became a hub for Christians who tried to evacuate it from front line, to relocate it to Western Europe, or stay far away from front line. So on these pictures you can see a lot of buses, what we did, our church did to evacuate hundreds of people, and we helped hundreds and thousands of people. We evacuated to West Europe hundreds, but many people stayed in Lviv, just to be far away from front line. And people said goodbye and did not know if they will see each other again. This is very hard part from this story for my country, for my people, because men from age 18 till 60, they cannot cross the border because they have to stay and protect their country, and women with kids can cross the border, and because of that we have you can see a lot of hugs. And people in 2022 did not know that they will see each other. Families did not know that they will see each other again. This is very worse spot. So let me tell you that many brothers and sisters serve in the army, protecting their homes and families. Some died or went missing. We already have brothers who already killed on this war because they're serving to defend our land. We have a brother who was missed on the battlefield, and if you missed on the battlefield, usually it means that you was killed, but your body cannot be evacuated from the battlefield. So on these pictures you can see some of them, and let me mention on the guy in a helmet. His name is Vlad, and his mother, he was baptized 2 months before full invasion war. And his mother, she was a first victim of this war, first victim of member of Church of Christ on this war. When he buried his mother, he relocated himself to Lviv. He's become a member of our church for several months, and then he was drafted to army. And he right now, and this brother Alex, they're right now in a very, very bad spot in this war. Very worst spot in this war. So I want to ask you to pray for everyone who right now in the army, about our brothers, and for sure one sister. I will let you about this sister later. So and I want to ask you to pray every day, especially for dead brothers. I was there, and I understand that it is very hard. It is very hard to keep your faith in that circumstances. But I deeply believe that not your faith need to influence on your, not your circumstances have to influence on your faith, but your faith has to influence on your circumstances where you are. We cannot be a Christian just in the good days. We cannot be a Christian just in a good situation and circumstances. We need to be a Christian 24/7. We need to be a Christian anytime, everywhere, and it doesn't matter where you are in what circumstances. These brothers, just some of them, they're really good Christians because they still keep a good faith in God, even in the circumstances where they are. Let me tell you that many churches cease to exist along with their cities. Look on this picture, the beautiful city, beautiful sun-shining day. Kids has a parade, and let me show you what's happened with this city. This city right now look like that. It's the same city, it's the same town. We had a church in that time, the town. Its name of this city, Bakhmut. In your time it was Artyomov. Probably you heard about that. So right now it's a Bakhmut. We right now try to change Soviet Union past names to normal names without any propaganda. You can see this same city. 70,000 population on this city was 70,000. Right now it's a ghost city. Almost all the church relocated, and lost everything. People lost everything from this church. The first victim of member of Church of Christ, what I mentioned, the mother of this guy in the helmet, she was a member of this church. She tried to relocate it from this city through another city, through Kramatorsk, and the Russians strike the train station there. Let me tell you, maybe you heard about Mariupol. That picture was taken in before 2 months before full invasion war. It was Christmas tree, Christmas party. You have similar here, and it's what happened with this city. Look at this picture in the right. They just burn it. 500,000 population in this city. We had about 4 congregations there of Church of Christ. They were surrounded by Russian forces. They destroyed it. And let me mention on this picture, it's a main theater of Mariupol. And people try to relocate from their homes because they lost power, they lost connection by phones, food, water. So they try to be together in the main theater. It's a big facility. And why? Because in the main theaters in Europe, usually we have underground floors. It's not bomb shelters, but it is underground floors, so you can be more safe. And people who, so there were about 1,000 people. I cannot tell for sure, but about 1,000 people was there. About 300 kids was there, and people who was in charge for that spot of people who gathering. They wrote on front of this theater. They wrote word kids or children on the Russian language. Let me mention, Ukraine and Russia, it's two completely different countries. It's two completely different culture. It's two completely different language. So they wrote on Russian language that the Russian pilots, when they will bombing this city, will see that in this facility a lot of kids. And look at this picture, what they did. More than 300 or 600, I cannot tell sure because it's occupied, right now it's in occupation. And Russians do not give opportunity to come from United Nations inspectors to see what they did because they try to hide this. So about from 300 to 600 people was killed there. Many kids was killed there. And look on this picture. Look on the buildings around this main theater. So it was not accidentally strike. It was strike to the main theater, down in the center of this main theater. They just want to kill people there. In Tuscumbia, Church of Christ, in Alabama, we have people from Mariupol who was near 3 women and her daughters. They was in the Philharmonic, was close to main theater when they bombed that. This is what we're facing. This is what we live. And let me tell you that I suggest you to watch a movie named 20 Days in Mariupol. 20 Days in Mariupol. It's the name of this movie. Actually, director of this movie, Ukrainian journalist, he received the Oscar in Hollywood for the documentary movie what he did about Mariupol. Watch this, and you will recognize by one city what's going on in all over Ukraine. I suggest you. It's cheap in Netflix or Amazon and free in YouTube. Officially, about 548 children died as a result of the Russian war against Ukraine. This performance was taken in Lviv, in downtown, where I ministry in this town. And you can see empty strollers and car seats. What represent the kids what was killed by Russians. And this is just official number because we don't know what's going on in occupied territories. They do not give opportunity not to us for sure and not to United Nations. They don't care about any global rules. Believe me, it's much more kids was killed on this war. Much more. A lot of sexual crimes, a lot of crimes what they did in occupied territories. It's evil. It's a pure evil what they did doing. But let me mention on the good things what's happening in Ukraine right now. We have helped thousands of Ukrainians and preached through this gospel. Right now I will mention a little bit what we do in Lviv church. and a little bit about what's going on in Ukraine. 20 minutes? Right? I want to mention before I will tell what we do, it's not our ministry. It's not our church. It's not our ministry. It's a God's church. It's a God's ministry. We just slaves of this ministry. So just keep this in mind when you will look at that. So through the humanitarian, we feed people, we house people, we pray with people, we dress people, and share the gospel through these programs. You can see distribution of humanitarian aid in Lviv Church of Christ. And let me mention on this picture, actually it's me in uniform, and I hold pizzas. Our number of our church raised to 90 people from 20 before war, and we have like a lot of people right now, and in the worship service we worshiping, we pray, and sometimes who visited Ukraine, you know that Ukrainians do not count time very much. And I think it's a good thing. We do not run away from church. Well, you cannot run away from church. You are the church. It's just facility. And Ukraine situation showed that you can lose the building of the church, but you cannot lose the church. But the funny things about this story, when the full invasion war started, all foreign companies left us, like McDonald's, KFC, all embassies, your embassy left. Nobody believed that we will stand more than 3 days. Right now, third year. But one company, and I really believe that they need to pay me a commercial about that. I talking about this company everywhere because I'm impressed by this company. But it's Ukrainian who worked in Ukraine on this company, but the company stayed there. So this is Domino's Pizza. After one worship service in Lviv, we had a big crowd of people, and we did not count the time, and lunchtime came, and we thought with brothers how we can feed the people, and we don't have a Jesus around us who can pray for bread and fish, and we can multiply this food. So, and we lost a lot of foreign companies in that times. Right now they came back. But Domino's Pizza was there. And can you imagine, we called to Domino's Pizza, ordered like 30, 40 pizzas for people. And can you imagine the situation, like sirens everywhere. Somewhere is bombing, bad news. And the person who delivered by bicycle these pizzas to church. It's unbelievable. During the 2 years of the war, there were 25 baptisms just in Lviv Church of Christ, and all over Ukraine we had about 500 baptisms. This picture was taken in our church, in my church in Lviv, and I was mentioned that we had for sure one sister in Christ who professional soldier. This is tiny young lady. She's a professional warrior. So, and she became a Christian after full invasion war. She was one of my teammates in my team in the army, and sometimes I have to be in the service 24, 25 hours to do my job, what I need to do. And she was one of my teammates. And do you know what the preacher will gonna do 24, 25 hours of anything? When he was gonna preach. So this poor lady, she heard so much my lessons in the time when we served together. Sometimes even I had baptized people immediately after serving in the army in uniform. So like sometimes 24 or 25 hours it was in Saturday, and in Sunday I have to be in the church. I have to be in the church not because I'm a preacher. I have to be in the church just because I'm a Christian, because I need to honor my God. I need to honor Jesus and remember Him. But after worship, one guy came to me and asked, "Can you baptize me?" And I said, "Let's go." And one group of church came after worship. So it's like 40 hours on the leg. And so if you think you're tired to go to the church on Sunday, think one more time, because you cannot be tired for God. I truly believe in that. It's just priorities, what you have in your life. But later on this day, my wife told me, did you hear yourself when you baptized this person? I said, what? She said, you talking to him like in the army, like, do you believe in Jesus? Do you baptize him? He's a good man. He is a part of leadership right now. Since the beginning of the war, the Lviv church has been meeting 6 times except Wednesday. So we try to be far away from the model what you have Wednesday and Sunday. We're meeting every day except Wednesday. And you can see the big crowd of people in Lviv. So we have women classes. We have Lviv, what we call Lviv Bible School of Deep Study of the Bible, 3 days per week. We have a children club and youth meetings every Saturday. And Sunday worship service, you can see how much people we have. Sometimes we cannot even have a place for where people can sit. For Ukraine, regular number for congregation is from 20 till 50, about this. Right now in our congregation, 90 people. One Sunday we had 100 people. So we just thankful God that He acting in our area. We have refugee house. We try to give hope and love to these who lost everything. Church does a lot of work to make this possible. We have a lot of Christians who relocated from Bakhmut or Mariupol, and we try to work that they will have a place what they can call a home. It's not their home, but I mean, it's not their home what they lost. And some people lost twice everything, but I don't have time to tell about these people. All over Ukraine, churches has increased their service, baptism, and evangelization despite the bombs, missile shots, kamikaze drones, the context, danger of life and health. Kamikaze drones, it's not FPV drones, it's like a truck. It's a huge. So all over Ukraine, churches work hardly to raise, to share the word of God. And if you read in Ecclesiastes, you can remember the words in Ecclesiastes when he said all about time, and he said time for that, time for that, time for that. And believe me, right now it's a time to share the gospel in this area for sure, because people lost everything, and we can seed the seeds about the gospel. So right now it's a time to share the gospel there. New congregations were founded during the war in Dnipro, Chernihiv, Uzhgorod, Mykolaiv, Pokrovsk. For example, this is my good friend Alexander Rodzichev. He's a preacher from Dnipro Church of Christ. Look on this crowd of people. He established church in 2023, a year ago in Dnipro, and look how many people he has right now. Not all of them a member of church. I don't want to trick with you like there's a big church and we baptize all the city. No, but it's about 10 or 12 Christians and about 40 people who come to the church to church work with humanitarian aid programs and share the gospel. You can see he preaching in the middle of this crowd of people. We still have 2 largest gathering. It's a Mediterranean camp. I'm sure that most of you have hear about or visited this camp, but many of you maybe do not know that we have a winter retreat in the western Ukraine. It's the second largest gathering. We have about 200 people there every winter. So please pray for Ukraine, stand with Ukraine, and support Ukraine. Thank you very much.